Hey, wave your hands in the air. Wave your hands in the air like you just don't care.
From Hollywood, welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
Be forewarned, my fiends, that this episode could send you to the confessional, even if you're not Catholic.
Who gives a rat's ass?
From the Plush Mojo studio on Sunset and Vine, overlooking a very murky sea of malakas and pendejos on the Strip, go grab a brew. Let's take off on another ass-spanking, action-packed adventure.
Let's do it.
Here's what's on tap on the Wrap. The definition of you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf now? Guess who's shaking in their shoes? The smiling jackass swerves out of his lane again, and the verdict is in. Will there be a fourth season of the Rat's Ass Podcast? Stick around and find out. Another round of head trauma is on the way. The showbiz quiz is coming up, plus our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including the angry American and bonk bonk on the head. That's what's happening today on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Monday, July 13th. We're pretty much halfway through the month already. Weren't we just celebrating our 250th? Hey, that was some shocking news about Lindsey Graham passing over the weekend, only 71 years old. I got to say that my skin is really crawling this morning because I saw Democrats speaking out about how much they respected Lindsey, enjoyed working with him. I mean, it's just another example of how these Democrats are two-faced assholes. Cockeyed Cory Booker was in near tears this morning. Can you believe this dipshit? The Republican Party, though, is going to miss Graham's tenacity. That's for sure. So rest in peace with the Angels, LG. This will blow your mind. Back in 1704, Sir Isaac Newton, the famous scientist, predicted the Earth would no longer exist in 2060. So if you're having sex right now, fellas, you might want to pull out. I mean, do you want to expose children to the end of the world? Is that what you really want to do?
Get the fuck out of here.
You know, I threw out this teaser about a little Ponzi scheme we were planning here at the Rat's Ass Podcast, and we're going to do it this fall. But what we're actually launching is the Rat's Ass Podcast Mischief Pyramid. That's going to let you and your friends participate to win some pretty cool stuff. More details coming soon on our hub at ratsasspodcast.com. All right, let's get into the rap today. I don't know about you, but I think we live in a very bizarre world today. You know, in many cases, we're made to feel if we're damned if we do, damned if we don't, meaning if you attempt to improve yourself, you get chastised for it. When you just want to lay back, be left alone, and not get involved, you're chastised for it. But here's a great example of what I mean.
If you wear nice clothes, people say you're fucking showing off. If you wear simple clothes, they act like you're broke as hell. If you speak your mind, you're rude. If you stay quiet, they call you a damn coward. If you become successful, suddenly you're arrogant. If you're struggling, these dumbasses call you lazy. No matter what the hell you do in life, people always got some shit to say. So stop living for their approval and do whatever the fuck makes you happy.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
All right, this situation between the United States and Iran has taken on a brand new life. Trump announced the ceasefire was over. And now it looks like Trump is done fucking around with these people in the Islamic Republic of Iran and is going to rid the world of their bullshit. Did you see the nicely made banners carried by the Iranians in the streets with a message saying they were going to kill Trump? You can bet your ass those signs were made by the IROI, and citizens were forced to carry them or they'd be executed. Yeah, that's the way they roll in Iran. But be warned. If we do have some Islamic sleeper cells in America, and there is a damn good chance we do thanks to Joe Biden's 4 years of open borders, you know, I hope I'm wrong about this, but we may have some shit to deal with here in the homeland. So be vigilant. Keep your head on a swivel. And please, for Christ's sake, let ICE do their fucking jobs. All right, how about Mamdani leaving Little Italy out of New York's shitty mapping? Now, you know the mob is history if Mamdani isn't swimming with the fishes already. And then you got Anna Maria Archila, who was on Mamdani's staff, scheduled a meeting to meet with Iranian officials, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, he put the kibosh on it. Now, my question is, what the hell are these communists really up to? I mean, Mamdani and his people continue to step out of their lane and get involved in areas a New York mayor and his staff have no business getting into. But it's proof again, this dumbass knows nothing about the city he was elected to lead, and why I continue to predict Zoran, I call him Low Ron, the loser, Luron, but Zoran Mamdani will not be mayor of New York City for his entire term. He's all fun and games right now for him. Trying to move his way in to be a dictator here in the United States. But he's on double secret probation. He just doesn't know it yet. Maybe he does. I know some guy rolled up a giant middle finger in front of the mayor's office in New York City. That was pretty funny. You know what? I launched the Rat's Ass podcast on August 29th, 2024. So our second anniversary is coming up. Now, I recently mentioned that I might pull the plug on the podcast and do something else. And since then, I've had offers from people who want to buy the Rat's Ass franchise. Kind of hard to find a name that's memorable these days. So I've taken those offers into consideration. I've also looked at the cost of doing business, the time I invest in creating each episode, and how damn hard it is to develop an audience, not only for the podcast, but social media to promote the podcast. It's taken almost 2 years to gain over 4,000 followers on TikTok and almost 4,000 followers on Facebook and nearly 1,000 on X. Trust me, I've pissed off just as many as we've gained. And I really have nothing to speak of on Instagram or Threads because it would take doing video to grow that audience. And I'm just not willing to go down that path. I mean, I'm really not that vain. And why I chose radio over television when television wanted me in the worst way. And I said, sticking it out on the radio. I want to be able to walk amongst the people without being recognized as much as possible. But after thinking long and hard about it from every angle, including, hey, if I do this, what comes next? And I've decided to go to a commercial break. No, I'm just messing with you. But seriously, the decision I've made is that one more year it is. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very little. One more year can only increase the value of the franchise, so we're going to stick it out one more year. So there you go. Monday and Thursday, those are the episode days. Keep that in mind. All right, the Angry American is here. Let's find out what has flames shooting out of his ass today. This is Tim Kramer.
Oh, yeah, you should definitely clap for him. Anybody who's this confident in proving how ignorant they are should get a round of applause.
If there was another civil war, do you know how bad the left would just fuck up the right? Like, the right thinks that they would win because they're a bunch of hillbillies with fucking guns, dude. We'll fucking get you. Fuck you all.
So angry.
They would get their fucking asses kicked again.
Who's gonna tell him?
Again. Last time wasn't good enough for y'all.
Last time? You mean the Civil War? Where Democrats, the people who owned slaves, they lost? That was your side. You guys lost. What the fuck are you talking about?
Fuck all of you. If you are in MAGA, you are so fucking dumb. You are dumb. You are fucking really dumb.
It's not the Iranians. It's not the Russians. It's not the Chinese. The single biggest threat to this nation are the ignorant.
You know, I ask myself, who's to blame for this country having so many ignorant offspring? Does it lie with the younger boomers? Gen X, the older millennials for raising a bunch of shit-for-brain kids? Why don't you tell me? ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. Let's get into it. What do you say?
Here comes Mr. Sports in his army shorts. Here's Mojo Elliott with his spin on sports on the wrap.
Leave my army shorts out of this. I like camouflage. All right, the All-Star break is here for Major League Baseball in Philadelphia. Tonight we'll get the Home Run Derby, but you can only see it on Netflix. Yeah, we've got some long ball talent this year, my fiends. Ben Rice of the Yankees has 28 dingers. Junior Caminero from Tampa Bay, 27. The Cardinals' Jordan Walker, 22. Hometown faves, Kyle Schwarber leads Major League Baseball with 32, and Bryce Harper has 20. And Minataka Murakami from the Chicago White Sox is a serious power broker, fans. He has, God, this guy can put some stank on the ball. You don't want to miss it. And it should be fun if you have Netflix. Then we have the actual All-Star game that happens tomorrow night. Now, I've been watching the All-Star game since I was around 8 years old. I haven't missed one. And I've seen everyone since. So, you know, I'm going to have my ass parked in front of the TV tonight, tomorrow, with my snacks. Because it's the only All-Star game where the players put out 100%. Unlike the NBA All-Star game, NBA All-Star weekend, the NFL Pro Bowl, which are pretty much a joke. I mean, they're all played by a bunch of lollygaggers that just want to collect a paycheck. The beauty of baseball is you can't fake it. You can't fake hitting a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. You can't do it. And that's my spin on sports on the Rat.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, the name of the game today is the Showbiz Quiz. You like music, don't you? Well, let's see how good you are at putting these albums in the order they were released, first to last. Sound good? All right, Pearl Jam 10, Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, Van Halen, 5150, and AC/DC, Power Age. Pearl Jam 10, Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, Van Halen 5150, and AC/DC Power Age. All right, go dust off your doodads and I'll have the answer coming up.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
So what do we do when we have famous people who do and say some really stupid stuff? That's right, a little bonk on the head. Redheaded comedian Kathy Griffin, who is 65, is parading around with a new 22-year-old boy toy, trying to convince us they're really into each other, especially him into her. I'm not buying it, are you? So Kathy, take that because we know you're paying him. And another one because you think we're stupid enough to take you seriously. And one more because no guy 22 years old thinks to himself, oh, God, I can't wait to bang my first granny snatch.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
Now it can be told that after Mr. and Mrs. Swift said their I do's in New York City, they headed west to consummate, well, I guess they communicated, but they consummated their union at the Yellowstone Club just south of Bozeman, Montana. Then after a couple of days of doing the Who's Ya Daddy, they flew to Burbank to spend some time here in Southern California doing more of the Who's Ya Daddy. Hell, I'm impressed, though. They schnockered the paparazzi by, doing a little shake and bake move we do here in California. We go to Burbank instead of LAX. That's what I do. I always fly in and out of Burbank and avoid LAX at all costs. Plus, the parking lot is right across from the airport terminal. Perfect for a quickie. Not that I would know anything about that. Our girl Britney Spears had people shitting bricks over the weekend after she pulled a stunt on the LA freeway. While moving slowly in traffic, she opened the sunroof of the Mercedes she was riding in, a passenger. She popped out of the roof, did a little sexy dance. Now, I really don't understand the backlash on this one. I mean, this is normal behavior for people in my generation. We always did shit like that. Hey, slow traffic, we're bored. Pop open the sunroof. Let's get out and do a little sexy dance. We all did that. Today, she's considered to be a nut for having a good time. It's not Britney that's Looney Tunes here, folks. It's you who mock her for being herself, for complaining about getting something for free that people used to pay to see. I mean, you're all the fucking loose screws in aisle 7 at the hardware store, okay? All right, Prince Harry is walking gingerly today after a goat kicked him in the family jewels during a session of goat yoga while spending time in the UK. Goat yoga. But since Harry's jewels have no real royal value, the goat was allowed to live. Congratulations to soon-to-be 68-year-old Madonna for being the first artist to have a #1 album in every decade since the 80s in the UK. All of a sudden, I feel like Casey Kasem. Congratulations to Madonna for being the first artist to have a #1 album in every decade since the 1980s in the UK. But not here in the United States, though. Nobody gives a rat's ass about Madonna here anymore because she's thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. Plus, she just happens to be another one who pays young black men to jackhammer her granny snatch.
Let's do it.
No, let's not.
That's just about enough of that.
Yeah, I hear you. Let's just get the hell out of this one. And that is a skanky slice of celebrity cheese for you.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, you can send your questions, comments, and observations to my producer, Fleabag, at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. And anything goes. The more outrageous and salacious, the better. And it is impossible to offend me, so give it your best shot. Willie D., Charleston, South Carolina, said 2 things. Bunny XO stands for Bunny Love. And on your last podcast, you did an impersonation of a white supremacist that made me bust a nut. You must be from the South. Okay, Willie, you caught me. I don't keep up with the life and times of Jelly Roll and Bunny Love. I actually hate country music, but I am impressed with how Jason Jelly Roll DeFord changes his life. And no, I'm not a son of the South. I actually grew up near Pittsburgh, lived in Phoenix for a couple of years. I've been in L.A. since 1986. But I'll say, Willie, my impression of a white supremacist is nothing more than a little foghorn leghorn action with my voice tone. Clyde B., Foley, Alabama. Mojo, I'm a retired radio DJ, and I get a kick out of your stories from your radio days, so I'm requesting one, my friend. Okay, challenge here. Fleabag. I don't like to read our emails before I read. I like to just get them and read them. But Fleabag, do me a flavor, if you would. Yeah, big flavor. Preferably, how about butter crotch? No, seriously. You got to give me a heads up on things like this so I don't waste time like I'm doing right now trying to think of one. Okay, here's one. Just popped in. Have I ever told you about the time I got into a tiff with Gene Simmons of Kiss? Yeah, this goes back about 20 years. Gene was just releasing the DVDs for Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. And at the time, I'd come off the air. I'd wrapped up my career as a radio personality and was focusing mainly on programming and running a bunch of radio stations. So we scheduled Gene to do an interview with our morning show host, Maria. And, Gene being Gene, gets on the air with her to promote the Family Jewels DVDs. But he always likes to be Gene. And he became, well, let's just say, trying to have phone sex with Maria. Okay, and she was very professional, kept trying to bring the interview back to the DVDs. And she went to a commercial break, came into my office, which was next to the studio, and she said, I'm not talking to that asshole anymore. Did you hear him? Did you hear him? I'm not going to talk to that male chauvinist piece of shit. Not going to do it. And you need to do something about it. So, I had a reputation, believe it or not, for not suffering fools, and I didn't really care who it was. So I went into my phone booth, put on the cape, and when I did that, it meant your ass. So I went back in the studio, opened the phone up, and I said, Gene, you're being a male chauvinist piece of shit, and you know it. This interview is over, and I expect an apology sent by you, not your publicist, because trying to fuck Maria on the air was not the deal. Are we clear? He stood back a little bit, I think, and he apologized to me. And I'll be damned. Maria didn't get an email apology, too. So we'll give Gene, credit. But he was just Gene being Gene, but we had to take care of it. Maria went back on the air and told the listeners, sorry, but Gene's got a sudden case of the runs and had to scoot. All right, Stacy W., South Bend, Indiana. I'm a single mother, and my 18-year-old daughter moved in with her 44-year-old boyfriend. Now, I know you don't have kids, but you grew up with a single mother. How would she have handled this? Well, you know what? One of my older sisters did the same thing. At 18, she moved out, actually went to another state with an older man, and my mother told her, highly advise against this, but you're 18 and old enough to learn from your own mistakes. She also said, if it doesn't work out, you're not allowed to come home. You stay where you are and figure it out. That's the way my mother was, Now, my mother would have welcomed her home, but she wasn't going to let her think she had a safety net. So take from that what you will. Derek L., Riverton, Utah, said, so 83% of women think a man who has slept with more than 7 women is undesirable, huh? That's okay. I'm sure there are plenty of desirable women who won't give a rat's ass. I appreciate you working out the name into your email, Derek. He said, won't give a rat's ass in the remaining 17%, okay? Again, so 83% of women think a man who slept with more than 7 women is undesirable, huh? That's okay. I'm sure there are plenty of desirable women who won't give a rat's ass in the remaining 17%. Well, what I think, Derek, is that you found a way to let us know you've played Humpty Hump with more than 7 women without telling us you've done the Humpty Hump with more than 7 women. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? All right, Matt H. from Tempe, Arizona, and we have a dating dilemma.
Well, isn't that special?
Yeah, Matt says I'm not bragging when I say this, but I started seeing this really hot girl recently, but she broke up with me because she said my penis was too big for her. Penis. Who decided? Who looked at it and said, I think we shall call that a penis? You know, I've never had this come up before, he said. Women generally enjoy it. Is she just a weirdo? You know what? I wouldn't worry about it, Matt. I mean, she probably suffers from what's called bigadicophobia, which is the fear of walking funny. All right, Lisa K. Everett, Washington, said, I've been having sex with two guys, and they were unaware of each other until 4th of July weekend. I was out with one and ran into the other in a bar. Unfortunately, they ended up in a fight, and both of them took one hell of a beating. Now neither one of them will talk to me. Is this one of those situations where giving it time to work itself out makes sense? Well, I'll tell you what, Lisa. Once these two figure out they've been digging in the same ditch, they'll probably not want to speak to you again if they have any self-worth, to be honest with you. But you can chalk it up to experience and go live your life, preferably with one guy at a time. What do you think?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, we are playing the Showbiz Quiz. And your challenge is to put these 4 albums in the order they were released, first to last. Pearl Jam 10, Led Zeppelin Houses of the Holy, Van Halen 5150, and AC/DC Power Age. All right, if you said Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Van Halen, and Pearl Jam, yeah, congratulations, baby. You got it right. But if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I'm out of here. I've got 2 words for you. Shaved testicles.
Get the fuck out of here.
But first, is this real or is it riffraff? Did you know all forms of oral sex are illegal in the state of Maryland between 2 people? Alexa, is this real or is it riffraff?
Jesus Mojo, leave it to you to find the sickest and most ridiculous info.
Well, thank you for having a keen eye for that, Alexa, but is it real or is it riffraff?
It's actually an old Maryland law that's still on the books.
Okay, so one that exists but really isn't ever enforced, right?
Well, there's one way to find out.
Oh, God, I can't wait to hear this.
Fleabag, book a flight to Baltimore, and let's see if we can get Mojo arrested for getting head.
No, Fleabag. I'm not going to Baltimore to get head. That's what Atlantic City is for, from what I understand. Yeah. No, I'm not going to Baltimore. Not gonna do it. Just not gonna do it. Alexa, by the way, here's your muzzle.
Get the fuck out!
Yeah, welcome. New Rat Nation members, Curly Vandemark of Charlottesville, Virginia, Sky McNichol of Lansing, Michigan, Ray Donaldson, Fort Worth, Texas, and Seth Miller in Hermosa Beach, California, and around the world to listeners in Edmonton, Canada, Townsville, Australia, and Andover in the UK. A little notation here. Fleabag says listeners from Townsville and Andover are first-time listeners here on the Rat's Ass Podcast. So we got to set them up with some... California. Yes. Welcome to the show. Townsville and Andover.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
Oh, we already did that.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
Fleabag, fix your damn fingers by Thursday, okay? Please? Or you're fired! That's Rat's Ass. No, you're not. That's a wrap for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go to ratsasspodcast.com to visit our hub and listen to previous episodes. Read the blog. It's loaded with lots of hot topicality, including Radio Wars. Plus our Rat's Ass Rock TV. You can join the mischief at Rat Nation and connect with us on the socials. We'll do this again on Thursday, July 16th. Take care of each other, and thanks for dropping by. The Rats... I mixed that up, stopping and dropping. Thanks for stopping and dropping by the Rat's Ass Podcast in partnership with the Oz Podcast Group.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. Ratsasspodcast.com.
Hey, wave your hands in the air. Wave your hands in the air like you just don't care.
What are you people? On dope?